Welcome to Legoland Malaysia. Located right on the border of Malaysia and Singapore, this park opened in 2012. And while at first glance it may look similar to the other 10 Legoland parks around the world, this Legoland is home to some attractions and experiences you won't find anywhere else. We had low expectations going into this park. As two adults with no children, it seemed like we were in for a disappointing day. But surprisingly, we had a great time at Legoland Malaysia, thanks to a wide variety of offerings. So today, join us as we explore the park, discovering everything it has to offer. For ReviewTyme, I'm Luke, and this is our tour of Legoland Malaysia. After entering the park, you find yourself within the undercover, fittingly named area entitled The Beginning, where on your left is a restaurant, and on your right is a big shop called The Big Shop. Considering this is a Legoland, this is where you can purchase all your Lego needs, alongside some park-specific offerings. Exiting this area, we take a turn into Lego City, themed around the mainstay Lego theme. This area is, unsurprisingly, themed to a generic city, and is packed with attractions to help you feel like an average Joe city slicker. The first attractions you hit are all absolute icons for Legoland parks, and attractions your kids will remember for the rest of their lives. Trust me, I still remember my first rides on these staples from my first trip to Legoland, California over 20 years ago. On your right is the double whammy of junior driving school and regular driving school. Here, young drivers can take to the wheel of their very own Lego electric car and work their way around the Lego City roads, encountering traffic lights, roundabouts, a speed camera, and more, all in the hope of earning their certified Legoland driver's license. Keep in mind though, some attractions at Legoland do have age limits and can't be experienced by everybody, and these driving schools are included in that. Junior driving school is perfect for those aged between 3 and 5, and the regular version is enjoyable for those between 6 and 12. And if you're aged between 25 to 54, which our stats show it's very likely that you are, then you're in the perfect range to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. We're finally trying to hit 100,000 subscribers this year, and a whopping 80% of people who watch our videos aren't subscribed. Now, as mentioned before, sadly these two rides can't be enjoyed by adults. But just across from these is a similar experience that can be boating school. You won't fall into the river of this Lego City, and instead here, adults and children alike can drive their own boats around the waterway. This isn't the world's fastest moving, most exhilarating attraction by any means.
It must be around here somewhere.
But both of us still had more fun than we probably should admit. Cruising around, admiring the Lego sculptures, and trying not to bump into each other or the sides. Several flat rides also exist in Lego City, including the Lego City Airport, a small spinner attraction, and the absolute upper body workout that is Rescue Academy. Lego City is also where you board the park's train for a relaxing tour around the main attractions of the park. One of our biggest surprises and a don't miss experience was awaiting us inside the Lego City stage, where they were showing Ninjago and the Realm of Shadows. We didn't know what to expect when we walked inside, but were pleasantly surprised to find a show packed with puppets, projection mapping, and special effects. Past Lego City, you have the Land of Adventure, split into two distinct areas. First is the classic Johnny Thunder Lego Adventures themed area, complete with a small drop and bounce tower called Beetle Bounce, as well as the Lost Kingdom Adventure. In this classic interactive dark ride, you climb aboard a desert off-roader and trek into a forgotten temple to discover lost treasures and a fun amount of practical effects. The other half of the area is themed to dinosaurs, with the only attraction being Dino Island, a flume ride with an impressive facade and a small dark ride section. Being in Southeast Asia, water rides are a must. But unfortunately, this attraction was closed on our visit, though it does look like a whole lot of fun. While this area doesn't have a huge selection of attractions, both of the major rides are two of the most unique and enjoyable offerings in the park. Around the corner from the Land of Adventure is Lego Ninjago World. Based on the popular toy line, which follows a series of 6 teenage ninjas and their battles against the forces of evil. Within this land are several interactive ninja training activities that will prepare you for the real deal on the area's major attraction, Lego Ninjago, the ride. Aboard this 3D shooter dark ride, you fling your arms around to throw shurikens at enemies. This ride is similar to Web Slinger's A Spider-Man Adventure at Disney, but with a much shorter wait, which makes it immediately better. As you continue around, make sure your brain is ready and fired up as you enter the imaginatively named area, Imagination. This area seems to be a bit of a catch-all thematically, with no real through line tying each of the attractions together. The entire park is packed with plenty of Lego build and play areas, and Imagination contained one of the most fleshed out, entitled Build and Test. Inside, you can build and test your own Lego vehicle down a series of ramps and jumps. Be warned, this looks easier than it is, and even we, two Lego-loving adults, struggled to build a vehicle that could successfully traverse some of these challenges. Back outside, make sure you jump on the observation tower, which will give you a 360-degree bird's eye view of the entire park and surrounding area. If you do want some thrills a little closer to the ground, but not too close to the ground, be sure to jump aboard the Kids Power Tower. That is fun for adults too, even if it made us realize just how weak our upper body strength is. Elsewhere in the area is an undercover Duplo playground, a giant play zone perfect for those drizzly Malaysian days, as well as the LEGO Studios 4D Cinema, where they play a variety of films, including the LEGO Movie 4D, A New Adventure, which is, unironically, probably my favorite 4D film in theme parks. Next to Imagination, you can step back in time to the days of knights and dragons in LEGO Kingdoms, the park's best themed land. The first attraction you come across in this area is Merlin's Challenge, a roundabout style flat ride where the challenge seems to be whether you'll get dizzy or not. The Royal Joust allows your child to saddle up on their own Lego horse and gallop through a medieval forest, discovering cutely built Lego models along the way. Just be warned that this ride can't be ridden by anyone over 150 centimeters tall. Sorry, teenagers and adults, we found this out the hard way. Working back towards the center of the land, you next come across the castle stage, home to a variety of shows that mixes up based on the time of year of your visit. When we visited, it was some form of witch show, and we'll be honest, we had very little idea what was happening as we only caught the very end of it. But children seem to be enjoying it.
Dip, 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 shake, 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 dip, mix, 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 mix it. The witch's soup. There you have it.
Crossing the drawbridge into the castle itself, you will find one of the most iconic Legoland attractions, the Dragon. Aboard this family coaster, you'll pass through an impressive dark ride section filled with Lego vignettes of castle life before heading outside and soaring around on the back of a dragon. We're suckers for any form of dark ride section in a coaster, and even though it kinda feels like two separate rides glued together, it's one of the best all-around offerings in the park. If the dragon looks a little too intimidating for somebody in your party, be sure to head over to the Dragon's Apprentice, a junior coaster specifically designed for younger guests, but still with a fun medieval dragon theme. Don't fret coaster counters though, as adults are also able to ride. Almost completing our full park loop, we have the land containing the most thrilling attractions, Lego Technic. I've always wanted to try one of these jet ski type rides, and Aquazone wave races at Legoland Malaysia gave me that chance. This thing is surprisingly fun, as you whip yourself out and around in the water. Just be aware of the water explosions that can be triggered by guests standing off ride, because if you get hit, you'll get drenched. The major attraction in this area is the Great Lego Race VR coaster, a relatively regular wild mouse coaster with a twist. You get the choice to ride with or without VR. If you choose to ride in virtual reality, you'll be placed in the middle of a fantastical race throughout the Lego universe, racing pirates, dragons, and more. Just be warned, if you do get motion sickness, you may want to ride without the headset, as it's difficult to know where you're about to go. This is only the second VR coaster I've ever been on, and this one was probably the most fun. The colourful Lego world just lends itself well to this sort of experience. The final land at the heart of the park is the one that made our trip completely worthwhile: Miniland, where plenty of places are represented through Lego-built versions of iconic structures and locations. Over 30 million Lego bricks have been used to bring to life the famous locations from 17 Asian countries, with some standouts being the Petronas Twin Towers in Kuala Lumpur, Singapore's Miniland, and plenty more. You could genuinely spend hours, and we did, slowly walking around and admiring the craftsmanship that goes into making these models, and the undercover nature of the area means it's perfect on any day, hot, cold, or rainy. All around the resort are plenty of play areas and climbing structures that act as a perfect way to keep your little ones entertained without having to wait for an attraction. However, if you do wait for an attraction, Lego build areas throughout the park are even in the queues, designed to keep the youngsters entertained while you wait for your turn on the rides. The resort is much more than just a single Legoland park. There is also a fully fledged Lego water park, as well as a sea life centre. We travelled to the park and back in a single day from Singapore, but on our return, we were the only people heading back, as everyone else that went with us was staying on site at the Legoland Hotel and making a few days out of the trip. Just be aware, if you are planning to visit, the park is closed on Wednesdays in the quiet season. And that is all for Legoland Malaysia, a park better for families than the competing Universal Studios Singapore about an hour away. We're two adults and still had an enjoyable day in the park. Though if you're in a similar situation without kids, it may not be worth the trek if visiting theme parks isn't your job. But what are your thoughts on Legoland Malaysia? If you haven't visited, do you want to? And if you did, what do you think? Let us know in the comments down below. And if you want to truly support what we do here, consider checking out our Patreon for exclusive content. The link is in the description. For ReviewTyme, I'm Luke. Thanks for watching.